See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil, in that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou goest to possess it.
Praise the Lord, friends. Just want to tell you about the tentacles of the jellyfish. I was just recently meditating about the tentacles. The tentacles. I titled this message as the tentacles of the devil. The tentacles of the jellyfish, they are coiled and they are very long. I believe, there are thousands of cells inside those tentacles. And they are deep down in the sea, and whenever they find their prey, then they uncoil those tentacles, and poison is spewed from thousands of cells from the tentacles, and that's how they attack the prey. And another thing I read, that even if one of the tentacles is detached from the jellyfish, but still there is poison in that tentacle and it can harm you. And there is one variety of jellyfish which is found in Australia, which is very poisonous. These tentacles, there are varieties of these fishes, and one particular variety is very venomous, and it can be very fatal and cause immediate death. Now, how do these fishes work is that once they see the prey, they uncoil the tentacles, and they just spew the poison and encircle the victim, and that's how the victim is attacked. When I was just meditating on this, I was reminded about the tentacles of the devil. Today, the tentacles of the devil is spreading far and wide, attacking children of God, and most important, attacking the servants of God. I was hearing a message recently of one person, very passionately he was speaking good, but then he kept on saying that most of the servants of God and their children are being attacked. But that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. Sometimes when you think that just because we are servants of God and we are exempted from that attack, then we are deceived, because the Bible very clearly says that the devil is just roaring like a lion to wait and to devour whoever he wants to, and he is not taking vacation and he is not taking rest. Look at this. Just imagine, I want to take an example of a powerful man. Because there is deception today. Every preacher, every servant of God every child of God who's taken water baptism, they are just human beings, and we all need the protection of God, and most important, we need the guard. G-U-A-R-D. We need to guard ourselves from the devil. Numbers 20, the Bible says, in verse 10, Moses looks at the people, he looks at the assembly, and because they were just frustrating him from the beginning. If you see, they are murmuring, they are grumbling for lack of water, and if you just go over and read it, and they say, why did you bring us to this evil place, E-V-I-L? Why did you bring? Imagine. The leader goes through so much of problems, and they say, why do you bring us to this evil place? And all this, I was just thinking, now he was in a vulnerable stage, he's emotional, and that's the time the devil is spreading the tentacles on Moses, and he's provoking him to do a mistake, provoking him to do wrong, because He knows that, now he is going to enter the promised land. When you are close to your promised land, when you are close, dear friend, I'm speaking with you, when you are just going to finish that project, when you are nearing your destiny, that's when the tentacles are spread. You got to be careful. The tentacles are spread to attack you. To attack you, to attack you, to attack you, to attack you, to make you emotional, to make you get angry, to make you, or sometimes you get offended very fast and you start crying. So, at times, I would think, no, I should not cry at this time. No, I should be strong. But become emotional. And there were times earlier I would wonder, what's all this? Now, I'll tell you something. We also read about the 7 times of heat that attacked Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego. So why do you think that it will not attack you? Why do you think that it will not attack you? Why do you think that 7 times heat will not come to you? And I have wondered, why is all the problems coming at one time? Lord, I just cannot take it. I just cannot take it. There were times I would wonder whether I will be able to take it henceforth. Whether I would be able to, withstand the heat. Yes, I would like to frankly tell you, it has, I've got bewildered. I've got, wondering what to do, how to handle it. And that's when God told, the chapter of, the 22nd chapter of Luke is just wonderful. It's just wonderful. The Bible says in Luke chapter 22 verse 3, it says, Satan entered Judas. It was time for the fulfillment of the promise of Jesus Christ. When he was just going, everything was going, and it was in the peak of his ministry that Satan entered one of his team members, and that too, that it was the close circle, very close, the next close circle of Jesus entered. He's got a plan. He's got a plan, friend. He's got a plan. I was just recently reading in the newspaper about please listen to me. I was reading about the murder of a journalist in Bangalore. You know how that the terrorists and all these people are not just going to be, are not going to be very, very careless. It's meticulously planned that one of those guys, he took up a house and he was staying there close to the journalist's house, and he was watching her movements. What time she's going for the morning walk, what time she's coming, who is there when she's going for the morning walk, is there anybody by the gate, looking for a vulnerable moment, looking for a time when you are alone, looking for a time when you are emotional, looking for a time when everything is going haywire, looking for a time for the peak of the frustration point. And after doing all this spade work, okay, the devil is not going to do anything without a spade work. He is going to monitor you. He is going to, keep a thermostat. He is going to see when she's going to get angry, when is a low point, when is a strong point, what is going to attack her, what is weak in her. He is going to do a real spade work and homework, which the children of God don't do. And then, after watching her, it was meticulously planned. Even the escape route was planned. After killing her, how will they escape? Till today, I'm giving this message on October 17th. And till today, the murderers have not been arrested because it was so well planned. It was so well planned. The escape route also was planned. They killed her and they vanished. And they are trying to find out. And even they were wearing helmets so that their identification is not noted. Imagine the homework the devil is doing to attack you, to kill you. Got to be careful. That's all. Let me tell you something. The devil comes to steal, kill and destroy. That's what the Bible says. And God also says, be careful. God, in Luke chapter 2, he tells his disciples, he's telling in verse 26, why are you sleeping? Rise and pray that you may not enter into temptation. We've got to pray. We've got to pray. We've got to pray. We've got to pray. I remember going into a temple town for preaching, and I tell you, my God, the hindrances I had. And so what I did was that city was thinking of all those ashes and all those agarbattis and all that stuff. And I was just preaching and praying in tongues and praying in tongues and praying in tongues. On the way, going and sitting, standing, prayer, because that's what gives us protection from temptation. The moment we think that, that we don't have to do so much of homework, then that's pride, and that's the real vulnerable point when the devil can attack us. The tentacles of the devil, my God. And it's very sad, Moses, just that single act of disobedience. God said, go speak to that rock. You know why? God said, go speak to that rock, because God wanted to show his, supernatural power. These hard-hearted people, even if they see anything, even if a 4th degree cancer being healed right in front of their eyes, the hard-hearted people are not very touched. But God wanted to do something really spectacular in front of those hard-hearted Israelites who were saying, why did you bring us to the evil place? And blah, blah, blah. But then we see that Moses hit the rock. One act of disobedience, Lord, one act. Yes, one act. God, he was not able to see the promised land. So the tentacles of the devil, let us also pray. It's enough we have gossiped and torn down we are tearing the servants of God into pieces with words. Instead of all that, we've got to pray. Name their children, name the family members, name all the people who are being a blessing to you. Name them. Just before sitting for this message this morning, I was just thinking of one student in my school, and she's also in my Abide Angel home. When everybody abandoned her, I went all out and I picked up this girl, a 15-year-old student who's still with me. Who's also with Abide Angel home, and she takes care of me, gives me tea, everything. I said, Lord, I've got to cover her with prayer. I've got to cover her. The most important instrument, I've got to cover that child with prayer. I've got to cover this child with prayer. Prayer is what keeps us away from the tentacles of the devil. God bless you.